What's up, traders? Tyler here from Vant Trading, your head Forex trader. So I have a pretty awesome lesson for you guys today, and it's helps me tremendously in my process as a trader. So what I want to show you today is AUD USD, and I want to show you specifically how you can use levels and a combination of a couple indicators to kind of give you a little better of a confirmation, right? So if you take a look at the 4-hour on AUD USD, and if you take a look at my previous lesson on how to draw support and resistance zones, you'll notice that this level right here that it's butting up against is a pretty significant level. If you take a look right here, has a large rejection point and a pivot point off of the zone. Right here does, this area, this whole entire area, and now it's butting up against it right now. And it's butting up against it as a level of a resistance. So you expect it to start going down from that level. So if you go on down to the 1 hour and you take a look at this moving average right here. Now this is the 50 exponential moving average, and it's what I use as a trader every now and then. Now I don't use it as a sole confirmation to take a trade, but it is nice to have on my chart to know that I don't have any headway because I know some traders trade off of the moving averages. So if you take a look at this price action that we're seeing right here, we have this nice doji right here, this bearish candle that has a rejection in this zone, and this zone is what I showed you on the 4-hour. This is where it's going to have some significant rejection. And it just so happens to be the area where the 50 moving average is, and it's rejecting it completely. So if you zoom in and take a look here, this is a very good area where you can start to make a decent trade, right? So if you see that, well, you have this level of rejection, you have a bearish doji, well, you can take a trade as it's starting to break that doji's low. And if you take a look at this price action, it started ticking up, right, creating that upper wick. And this is what I like to call a swing high pattern. You have the rejection wick right here. You have another higher rejection wick right here. Then you have another lower rejection wick right here. And you have that almost backwards inverted U shape. It's like a little hump. So that's a swing high pattern that I like to trade off of. And typically when you get that upper rejection wick, it'll start then moving down. And a good area to enter on is a break of that previous 15-minute, or I'm sorry, now we're on the hour, the previous hour low. So I took an entry right here as it was breaking that low. And what your trade would be is you would have a stop loss above the current 15-minute high, because at that point, as it's I keep saying 15-minute because I usually trade on the 15-minute, but on AUD USD, the hourly structure is a lot cleaner. Now, you would set your stop at the current hourly high, just because you're only entering as it's breaking the previous hour low, and you should get some bearish momentum with that, right? So as you see it breaking the low, you take an entry short with a stop above the previous or the current hour high, because you don't want to see it come back up in that zone. It should not be breaking its own high, because that means that your trade you're in is not going to look good. It's not what you're expecting, right? So you take a trade, and the stop for me in this trade was about 7 pips. Now I typically like to do a 2-to-1 risk to reward, looking for 14 pips. And so far the low hit 12 pips. And if you go down the lower time frame, the 30-minute, and you take a look, well, right now it's butting up against this pretty significant level of support. Now, I exited my trade right there, and that was where my initial take profit was. Sometimes you don't need to be strict about it, right? 2-to-1, 3-to-1, you just, as long as your risk to reward is decent and you find a good level to take profit, this is going to have a significant area of rejection or hesitation on the 30-minute, and it'll also translate into the hour. So I took profit here, and that was a 12 pip. That was a 12 pip trade. And as you can see, there was just no hesitation, because as it broke this low, this is the hourly low I entered on, right? And it just kind of went straight down. Now, I do expect this trade to continue down, and it most likely will continue back down towards its lows right here, because typically on a swing high play, you're going to get a more drastic move out of it. You're not just looking for a scalp like this. Now, I took a scalp like this because I don't trade this pair often. I used to trade it all the time, but it looked just too perfect, too picture perfect for me not to take it. But so that is the trade I took, and that's what I just wanted to show you, that you could use that moving average as a confirmation for some of your trades. Now, if this moving average had been up here, I probably still would have taken it because it's still butting up against that support and resistance. But it just gave you that extra confirmation that it's going to reject, because that significant 50 EMA is being rejected, along with that really significant level of resistance. Now, sometimes what I will use is the RSI, and it basically just gives you the strength in the move that, the current move you're looking at. Now, when I was taking this trade on the hourly chart, I noticed that it was breaking through the midpoint of that RSI right here, that 50% level. But it was breaking through, but weak, and it wasn't busting through. It was kind of just rolling over and coming back down. And when I saw that, I was like, it's a pretty weak breakout, and it's 3:00 p.m. Eastern time. There's not much volume for that. So price action is going to dictate your trade in this case, because with the weak price action, the rejection of the 50 EMA, and that weak breakthrough of the RSI, you'd expect it to come back down towards its lows. Now, that's another confirmation you can use as a take profit. You can either use price action, which is what I recommend, and I'd expect it to come back down towards its lows right here. Or if you get a big enough volume rush and it starts moving down to the RSI oversold, but it doesn't quite reach this low, that's when I would probably take profit, because it's getting pretty overextended, and you want to take off while you're in the momentum and the way it's going for you. So that was a quick lesson. So what I wanted to show you, that's one easy way to find a confirmation on trades. If you have any questions on what I went over, want me to go into more detail with it, please let me know. Reach out. Please leave a comment, a like, share it if you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you later.